edition of Celtics Roundtable here on the Boston Celtics newsfeed. Matt Ignal here, joined by Sam Sheehan and my brother Jonathan, coming to you on this Friday after the Celtics drop their second straight in 2 games, this time to the New York Knicks, 102-93. 2 words come to mind for me in this game, and that's Michael Beasley. But I'm gonna let Sam Sheehan take this. What went wrong in this game?
I mean, look, no. The Michael Beasley thing, I understand. Like, look, you cannot hope to stop greatness like Michael Beasley. You can only hope to contain him. Really, anytime Michael Beasley only goes for 30 points, you did your job as a defense. In all seriousness, though, I do think that it struck me when I was watching, the Celtics sort of blunder their way to, another loss against a team that they are better than. The Celtics play like they are blackout drunk, and what I mean is they'll snap in for 5-minute stretches, and they kind of get their bearings, what's happening, and they'll play like normal, particularly in the last 2 minutes of a fourth quarter. They will all of a sudden just turn it on and score well and defend and get inside of guys, but just the rest of the game just nonsense, throwing up on themselves. Hat tip to Abdel Nader, who hit a couple of threes, but also just kind of waved at Michael Beasley as he went by a couple of times. So that's always going to happen when you got when you're hurt and you're playing. I think the Celtics have played 9 games in the past 14 days, which is it's just insane. But you also got to kind of try and find a way to win games, and the Celtics weren't able to do that tonight.
Jonathan, what you got for me?
Yeah, the Celtics made a little bit of a mistake. I know they have to play a lot of rookies due to the injuries, but I don't know if Semi Ojeleye is the right guy for Michael Beasley. I mean, say what you will about MVP Beasley, but the dude can score, and he just has the experience and can get by Semi Ojeleye. They tried a bunch of different matchups on him. I would have loved to see a little more Marcus Smart. I think that's the right answer. I know Beasley was hot, but Smart can really body him and force him out. I mean, credit to Frankie Smokes for hitting those big threes and keeping him honest. But you just got to be a little more physical. I mean, the Celtics in December have had a lot of trouble with these stretchy, versatile bigs. I mean, Mirotic, Portis, Kelly Olynyk, making him look like an all-star, and really making Michael Beasley look like an MVP candidate tonight.
I think there's a major luck effect happening here. I mean, Michael Beasley was insane. He was just hitting turnarounds over guys. Yeah, maybe Ojeleye, didn't have the quickness to really contest him, and Marcus Smart's too small. Horford was probably the most effective, I guess, but Beasley still hit shots over him. He was what they were doing really well was Beasley was slipping the pick and roll and was catching it on the run, and he just did an awesome job dishing it off to O'Quinn, who also had an excellent game. He was so good defensively. But this is the second straight game where a team's essentially been missing his star, their star. I don't know where Kristaps Porzingis was in this game.
Oh, I'll tell you where he went. He went into Marcus Smart's back pocket. Yeah. The Antifa warrior Marcus Smart folded him up and placed him right in his front pocket as a nice little tip for the waiter. That's I think it, friend of the show, Ryan Hebert, he tweeted out that it rules that a 7'3" Latvian guy and his foil is a 6'3" Marcus Smart who just gets inside of him and just destroys him. Did you guys see the clip? I think we were all watching TNT today, right? They had a clip of Porzingis gets Smart in the post and just a terrified pass away. Did not even try to back him down. Just wanted no part of a Marcus Smart post up, and he's giving up a full foot. I don't know. I think it rules. I think Marcus Smart, that was one of the few bright spots, was watching Marcus Smart and Al Horford together just evaporate Kristaps Porzingis from the game.
When I look at why the Celtics primarily lost this game, I thought this was a better effort than they showed against Miami. I mean, the Knicks just didn't miss down the stretch. Every time they needed a bucket, it seemed like they came up with it until their guards started coughing the ball over, every single time in the last couple of minutes. Could the Celtics have been better defensively? Of course they could have, but it's not like the Knicks, were playing this amazing basketball. They were just kind of hitting every single shot, it seemed. And it was frustrating to watch for me. And then on the other end, the Celtics were missing easy ones. I mean, how many layups have they blown over the past few games? it's very frustrating, but I do think this is the sort of thing that'll correct itself.
Yeah, and another shout out to Frank Ntilikina, pivotal down the stretch in the third quarter. Really D'd up Kyrie Irving, and Kyrie could not get by him. Continued on in the fourth. Not really sure why they threw Ron Baker at Kyrie, but
that was a bizarre coaching decision because Kyrie like burned him every time, and then Baker got switched on to Tatum, and like Tatum like burned him. It made no sense, but I guess you got to put your best defender on Marcus Smart in the clutch situation.
I think
only one turnover for Marcus.
Yeah, Marcus had another pretty efficient game for Marcus from three. Was he? He hit at least a couple, right?
Like, good for him, sure.
Yeah, 1 for 6.
Okay.
1 for 6.
Okay, efficient.
Pretty efficient for Marcus.
That was
Smart.
A pretty efficient game for Marcus Smart. I stand by that. Yeah, I mean, I think that this is the thing with this. What we're seeing with the Celtics right now. Like they just get down into these holes where like. They get into these slumps where they're just not scoring, and like it feels like every time at the end of the third quarter the game is like 60-66 during this stretch, and I understand what you're saying, Matt, that like the Knicks did hit Knicks had a lot of tough shots down the stretch. Like Doug McDermott hit a prayer like on a pretty good close. I think it was by either Smart or Rozier, and he just buried it. And that's not going to happen all the time. But at the same time, it's also the New York Knicks, and Kristaps Porzingis is not showing up. You can't get muscled by Enes Kanter early on in the game, and you can't get like I don't know. I just feel like if you're a good team, you control the game better, and you're not trying to like play from behind. And I think that's the Celtics don't really seem to have that luxury just because with the injuries you do have to go that deep into your bench, and you do have to, play guys like Nader. Guys like Shemi are out there getting a ton of minutes. We even, Yabu even got to see the floor early on. They never went back to him, but I mean, he was out there dispatching Enes Kanter with one hand. I think that the Celtics, everyone's going to want to panic because they don't look great right now. I think that the bottom line is, and I think that everyone is saying this, is that they are probably not the 60-win team without Gordon Hayward that we saw during the win streak, and they are probably not this 43-win team that we're seeing right now. Like they're probably going to end up somewhere between like 53 and 54. I think once Brad gets a practice for the team again, like at the end of December, they will. We'll see some of this stuff start to level out, but until then, they just got to get through this like hellish December that they have coming up.
Yeah, I mean, this is a really brutal 2-month stretch for the Celtics. 16 games in November, 17 in December. I mean, they're extremely tired. You can see it with the rebounding, the lack of transition buckets, the lack of steals, and just the dreadful defense. I mean, the rebounding, I think, when Marcus Morris is out, you got to play Shane Larkin and other guys like Abdul Nader. Like, for a team this good, like Abdul Nader should not be seeing this time. But when you have one broken leg, 2 broken faces, a dislocated finger, lingering knee problems, and a Horford concussion, like you need these guys to step up, and the Celtics are jam-packed with unproven rookies.
I think looking at this game in particular, if you're going to point to something, I think you mentioned it, Sam, the Celtics gave up like almost a 40% offensive rebound rate to the Knicks. That's a lot of that's Enes Kanter, who's very difficult to box out. He's a master at that, but still, that's way too high. And then the Celtics finishing at the rim, just 26%. What is that? 39%.
Close to the camera, bud.
30, I got to squint here.
That's Matt finishing around the rim.
That's bad.
Just showing them how to finish around the camera.
Please.
That's the top-down view.
I mean, they've just been blowing so many layups recently.
Hey, do the Celtics win this game if Jaylen Brown plays?
Yes.
Possibly. What was that? Sore Achilles?
Sore Achilles, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Too much stress?
Too much dunking.
Yeah, I think that, we've seen, like, this Celtics team, I think people also, when I said that, like, the Celtics probably were not as good as, they were during the win streak, I don't think I'm knocking anyone's socks off. I don't think anyone really thought the Celtics, without Gordon Hayward, were, like, going to be a 60-win team. But there's just, like, some stuff you can look at. Like, I was going through the stats today, and you can kind of see where some of this luck stuff falls into it. On NBAstats.com, you can sort by, shot distance and see how close a defender was with the player tracking. Celtics opponents when guarded tightly, meaning the defender was in 2 to 4 feet of them. During the win streak, so I think that's November 22nd and before, the Celtics opponents were only shooting 19% from three when guarded tightly. Like, that's a really, really low number. That was by far first in the league. And now, since they've started losing these games, same thing, got a tight defense, 2 to 4 feet. They're shooting, I think it's like 41.9. So that's just an enormous difference in three-point percentage. When you think about, teams taking, usually around, 15 to 20 three-pointers a game, that ends up being like 6 or 7 points at least. So I'm just saying that, luck has something to do with this. Now, there are ways that number can, mean something different. I mean, you choose who, good defenses make bad three-point shooters take those shots, and that might be why it was 19 versus 40-something. But at the same time, you got to understand that in today's league, with the higher three-point shooting, with the higher pace, there's a lot more parity and a lot more variance, I think. And so, we're going to see times when the Celtics are going to come crashing back to earth, and they're going to, flip around a little bit, especially when they have to play their bench unit as much as they did today.
All right, we're going to talk a little bit more about some of the ways that the Celtics might be able to get back on track. But first, I got to tell you all about Action Heat. They make the world's best heated clothing. That's right, heatable clothing powered by rechargeable batteries. They're the perfect solution to keep you toasty and warm, even in this most frigid winter weather. Their clothing provides toasty warmth and comfort for the entire body, including heating jackets, socks, gloves, hats, and even undergarments like long johns. You can stay warm and cozy from head to toe with Action Heat. And even their batteries can be used to recharge your phone or any other gadget while you're wearing them. We're running out of time here, but it is perfect for a friend or family on your holiday gift list, available in men's and women's styles. We have a special deal just for our listeners here. Just go to action-heat.com/Celtics or use the coupon code Celtics to save 15% off the entire order. Stay toasty and warm while you enjoy all of your outdoor activities this winter with Action Heat. And we thank them for sponsoring the podcast. Just go to action-heat.com/Celtics. Use the coupon code Celtics. We're also brought to you by DraftKings. Basketball season's back. It's time for you to put your fantasy knowledge to the test to win huge cash prizes every night playing one-day fantasy basketball at DraftKings.com. The best part is you get to draft a new team each day, but that's actually not the best part. The only thing better than doing that is winning cash while doing it. Huge cash prizes and bragging rights await only at DraftKings.com. Use the promo code CLNS at DraftKings.com to play free with your first deposit for your share of $10,000 in total prizes. Don't wait. Use the code CLNS at DraftKings.com now to choose your lineup. There's a minimum $5 deposit required and eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the answer's just got to be wait. And I know that's, not really going to be popular, but I mean, they're really unhealthy right now. The state of the Celtics is such that when I saw Shane Larkin on the injury report, I went, oh no. I was upset, very upset that they weren't going to have Shane Larkin. And with no irony, it was they're going to miss him tonight. And they did.
When they're struggling like this and you're relying on these rookies, not named Tatum, Jason Tatum just needs to shoot the ball more. I mean, I know Brad Stevens easing him in and setting him up for success and great shots, but at the end of the day, I think we'd all rather a tough Tatum look than a Rozier drive or a Daniel Tice 3 or Abdul Nader seeing the court. It's time to take. I think it's time to take the training wheels off. There's no reason Tatum should only be averaging 9 shots. He's at this point the best goddamn shooter in the NBA. Shoot the ball. I know the field goal percentage will go down and the efficiency will drop, and people will say Donovan Mitchell's way better. But he's the third best scorer on this team. It's time for him to score more.
I mean, it could be second. I wouldn't rule that out. To me, it stands out with a little bit of fatigue because the Celtics' rebounding has really fallen off. I think most of us have probably seen they went from first in the month of November to basically last in the league since December, and they've struggled a little bit more. I feel like teams have gotten out in transition a little bit more. That wasn't so much of a problem in the Knicks game, but previously, I think that the Celtics' hustle stats and hustle plays have kind of waned a little bit. And then also just the perimeter defense. I just feel like so many times opposing players, quick guards, are getting into the paint. And you can point the finger if you want, but I'm going to point the finger at that the Celtics just been under this brutal travel schedule. and just haven't had 2 days off, it seems like, in forever. And they're not getting it
Really?
for quite a while. They're having another back-to-back before they get 2 days off in a row. So,
See, I thought you were gonna blame Kyrie a little bit. I mean, it's not even the quick guards. Jared Jack can carve him up and go anywhere he wants on the court.
Yeah, I'm back and forth on this. I mean, I ran the numbers today, and Kyrie has really fallen and a lot of the net rating stuff, and it's a lot of it is defensive rating and those sorts of things. So he's down to 6th on the team in net rating, behind the rest of the guys who regularly start, meaning Smart and Baines, and then the other 3 regular starters. But I don't think, obviously, that I'm not saying that Kyrie Irving is the 6th best player on the team. That's absurd. But I'm just saying that we are seeing something change in Kyrie's game. I'm not sure if it's a regression to the mean. I'm not sure if it might just be things settling in. It's been suggested that maybe it's lineups. Maybe it's Kyrie having to carry some of these larger bench units. Something else I noticed is actually the units that are the most negative during this rough patch Celtics have been going through again since November 23rd. It's actually the starting lineups that are the most negative and have the most negative point differential. So that's the 4 regular starters and Marcus Smart, and the 4 regular starters and Marcus Morris. Not the Aaron Baines lineup. That one's still good. But the other, which really surprised me, because I feel like that it's been the bench that's been killing the Celtics during this losing streak, and that kind of is not what the numbers are saying, which I find very interesting.
Interesting. I mean, it's not like the Celtics are on this giant losing streak. They're 26-9. Like, pretty, awesome. take out the 16 win streak, and they're like kind of 500. So if that's like where their floor is, I think you're in pretty good shape, especially when it's occurring when the team is injured and is playing on this ridiculous schedule. All right, final thoughts before we wrap up here, Jonathan.
Yeah, I mean, again, another brutal stretch. I don't think it's going to get much better very quickly. Hopefully, right after the new year, when they get a little more time off. I know between the Brooklyn and Philadelphia game, they have about 5 days from January 6th to January 11th. That's going to be a key stretch. I think the guys just need some rest. Like, honestly, the regular season, we've seen it time and time again. We had these same problems last year with the team. The bench stinks. The second quarter kills us. It's not that important. I know that really delegitimizes all we talk about, and we're going to run out of things to talk about, but this team is fine. I think they're going to be in great shape. All they need is I wouldn't mind resting Horford and Kyrie. I know it's frowned upon in the league, but take a loss, rest them, get the guys healthy and get the guys well rested, because that's what this problem is.
Yeah. What would Greg Popovich do? That. Rest them on the national TV games. The Celtics have a Christmas game this year? They do, right?
They play the Wizards.
And
Marcus Morris is looking to return in that game.
Great. Morris Bowl, baby.
Morris Bowl.
What are the chances that Marcus Morris, if there's a scrum in game, Marcus Morris just goes full wrestling heel, tears off his Celtics jersey to reveal a Wizards jersey underneath, and just joins the Wizards?
Don't even joke about that,
really
man.
I mean, wrestling really is got superior narrative storytelling. If that were even remotely possible, I would be positive that was going to happen. Who knows? It might still. Quote me. That's my prediction. It's my Christmas prediction. Marcus Morris will heel turn on Christmas Day and join the Wizards. And immediately put them in the luxury tax.
All right. All right. So Celtics are fortunate enough to be taking on the Bulls on Saturday. Oh wait, the Bulls have won 7 of 8 since Nikola Mirotic came back. Oh well.
Yeah. Go Bulls! I love the.
No, I'm terrified. I'm terrified of these bad teams.
The anti-tank Bulls rule. They're so good. No, they rock. Nikola Mirotic is trying to get out. This is the funniest situation that's ever happened. It's so Bulls to have the number 1 pick and finally look like you're going to get Luka Doncic. And then a dude comes back from having his face broken by another guy on the team. And the both of them, when they're on the court together, play out of their mind. And you go on a 7-game winning streak and ruin your tank record. That's the most Bulls thing of all time. That's extremely Garpax. The Bulls rock, and I love them.
All right. On that note,
Sorry.
we gotta wrap
Sorry.
things up here.
I feel strongly about the Bulls.
No, it's absolutely amazing, and they deserve it. They deserve
It's the funniest thing.
to fail here. All right, hit the like button and subscribe to CLNS Media. If you're watching us on YouTube, if you prefer to check us out on the go, you can always subscribe to the Boston Celtics newsfeed, available on your favorite podcast app, or you can download the CLNS Radio mobile app. Follow us on Twitter at CLNS Roundtable. I want to thank my brother Jonathan and Sam Sheehan for coming on, even in the Celtics lost here. But we'll be back early next week, probably do the Monday mailbag, so feel free to leave any questions in the comments section. And, oh no, wait, that's Christmas Day. Well, maybe. If you guys are really lucky, we'll give you a next
Good thing
Christmas
we're
gift.
Jewish.
Yeah. All of us. All right.
Yep. Except for me. Jehovah's Witness, baby. Woo!
I would have pegged you for a Mormon.
Absolutely. I'm a Mormon and, I also Scientologist.